Korean cars used to be cheap, but not particularly cheerful. Now, Hyundai and its sister brand Kia fight on a level playing field with the Europeans and Japanese.
This new i20 is Hyundai's answer to the Ford Fiesta and Vauxhall Corsa, a supermini aimed squarely at the mainstream. We're first behind the wheel here in Spain to see if it hits the spot.
First impressions are good. Large swept-back headlights, a rising waistline and blacked-out C-pillars create a coupe-like look that's sporty and stylish, in a subtle kind of way. It's a shame the same design flair wasn't applied to the interior, but we'll come to that later.
First up, let's see how the new i20 drives. This version is likely to be the best seller of the range. It's the 84 brake horsepower 1.2 petrol. And although most of the car is all new, the engines have been carried over from the old model, and it shows.
Performance is adequate, but nothing more. 0 to 62 miles an hour takes a steady 13.1 seconds, and you have to work it pretty hard on hills like these, not helped by a gearbox with only 5 speeds.
Fortunately, a 3-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine arrives in 2015, and that should be both more powerful and more efficient.
For now, there's also a 99 bhp 1.4 petrol and 2 diesels to choose from, a 1.1 and a 1.4. Only one i20, the 1.1 S Blue diesel, emits less than 100 grams per kilometre of CO2, the magic number below which you don't have to pay car tax.
So, it's no ball of fire, and as I mentioned earlier, the interior looks, well, functional if I'm being kind, or drab if I'm not. But you do get a lot for your money. The i20 is one of the best equipped cars in its class. SE spec is what most people will go for and includes Bluetooth, cruise control, rear parking sensors and a lane departure warning system.
Upgrade to Premium SE and you'll get a panoramic sunroof and something there isn't much call for here in Malaga, a heated steering wheel. In fact, the only thing missing from the list is sat-nav. Surprisingly, the touchscreen system is an option on all models.
The i20 is big for a supermini, so there's a lot of room in here too.
Hyundai says interior space is class leading, something we'll look to confirm when we test the i20 in our lab. And the boot holds a claimed 326 litres. Compare that to the 260 litres we measured for the Fiesta and just 240 litres for the VW Polo. So the i20 is a good car for passengers, but what about drivers?
Well, it's no better than average, but this is an easy car to drive with light controls and safe handling. There's a decent amount of grip and not too much body roll when you're cornering, but there's very little feedback through this steering wheel, so it's not exactly fun on twisty roads.
Hyundai's brand reliability is average according to the Which Car survey, so it lags behind the likes of Honda and Mazda there. But Hyundai does trump most of its rivals with a 5-year unlimited mileage warranty.
The new i20 is certainly a step forward. It's now a car you might buy because you want one, rather than simply because it's cheap. The downside is that it really isn't that cheap anymore. But if you take space and standard equipment into account, it still represents good value. If you're in the market for something small and practical, the i20 looks worth adding to your shortlist. But we'd wait for that 3-cylinder turbo engine before you do.
Click below to read our detailed first drive of the i20, find out our top 10 supermini buying tips, and see all of our best buy small cars.